This year, Blender is getting more add-ons than ever, with many talented developers coming with creative ideas to solve problems that Blender artists struggle with. And in today's video, we're going over some of the best add-ons that came out in the last few months, and I'm sure you have missed some of these. Before we continue, the Blender market is going through the spring sale, with 25% off thousands of products from add-ons, courses, 3D models, and more. And if you don't know where to start, I have in the description of this video a list of some of the best add-ons and courses out there. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're gonna start with BQR Boolean Quad Ready. So if you've ever used Boolean in Blender, you know they can be both powerful and messy, but this add-on tries to fix that. I mean the second part. It's built to help keep your geometry clean, especially after you have cut your mesh. So instead of leaving a trail of angles and chaotic faces, it leans into quad-friendly topology. The add-on gives you some repair tools, modifier workflows, and even options to merge or simplify after a Boolean operation. And to be honest, it is not fully automatic. You will still need to guide it, but it feels like it's made for people who want more control without starting from scratch every time. The best case, your mesh survives complex cuts and stays animation ready, and worst case, you've got way less cleanup to do. Now let's talk about True Depth, which is one of the best add-ons that came out recently. True Depth is a clever little shader-powered add-on that brings parallel occlusion mapping to Blender. So instead of modeling every brick or crack, you get realistic surface depth using just height maps and smart shading tricks. It works with cycles and Eevee, and even Eevee Next, and you can use it for anything from bricks and tiles to sci-fi panels and stylized surfaces. Its setup is really fast. Plug in your height, normal, and color maps, adjust some few sliders, and you are done. You can even switch the parallax effect on and off, I mean per material, which keeps your scene optimized. And I think it is a great way to get that 3D look without touching the poly count. From one of the veteran Blender developers, we have Simply Sketch Pro, which is all about making line art rendering in Blender as easy as it gets. So if you're into technical illustration, architectural sketches, or stylized concept art, this add-on got you covered. It basically automates line-based rendering with a bunch of presets, like black and white, blueprint, clay style, transparent line art, and even a SketchUp-like mode, which I can already see being a fan favorite. One of the best features here is the screen space line art. You see, unlike Blender's default system, this keeps line thickness consistent, no matter the perspective, so your thick and thin lines stay uniform across the scene. Oh, I almost forgot. It is also optimized for animation, and you can toggle material visibility per object, making decals, transparent materials, and layered renders more manageable. Now we're gonna talk about Figaro, for building a solid base for sculpting. As you may know, a great model starts with good foundations, and that's exactly what Figaro helps you with. If blocking out shapes from scratch slows you down, Figaro actually speeds up the process with a stick figure-like modeling approach. So instead of wrestling with primitives, you define shapes using points, edges, and faces, and the add-on interpolates them into smooth, organic forms. One of its best features is one-click voxelization, which instantly converts your blackouts into a sculptable mesh. It actually requires no extra setup. Just adjust the voxel size, adaptivity, and shading in the side panel, and jump straight into sculpting. Also, this add-on covers other handy tools, like vertex splitting, for sharp edges, and quick display options to fine-tune visibility. Since Figaro easily integrates with Blender's modifier system, you can add symmetry, subdivision, and deformation modifiers on top. Next we have Realistic Skies, which offers a collection of 8K background images organized into 11 categories that provide various moods and lighting options. These backgrounds are great for quickly adding realistic environments to your Blender scenes. Thanks to seamless integration with the asset browser, you don't need an add-on to use them. Simply drag and drop the backgrounds into your scene. Then adjust the image to fit your camera view. Each image includes a dedicated node group, making it easy to adjust brightness, contrast, saturation, gamma, and hue, without affecting your scene's lighting or casting unwanted shadows. These images are designed to be adaptable to different formats, from ultra-wide to standard, making them a versatile option for any project. Also, I want to mention Retopoflow 4. This add-on is built to make retopology way less painful. So if you're dealing with heavy sculpts, or scans for that matter, and you need a clean, animation-ready geometry, then this tool might be for you. Everything happens inside the edit mode, which means no more bouncing between menus or extra software. It gives you smart tools like contours for wrapping loops around limbs, and poly strips for sketching out edge flow, and strokes for quickly blocking in big areas. Then you've got Polypen, in addition to Relax, to fine-tune and even out things. Generally speaking, it is fast, fluid, and actually makes retopology feel like a creative step, not just a technical chore. Next, we have Veedynamics, from the developers of UV Master. This add-on introduces elastic body simulation to Blender, with a setup that is surprisingly hands-on, but not overly complicated. You start by assigning simulation rules, set your active objects as elastic bodies, and mark any surfaces or obstacles as colliders. There is a batch assignment option too, which helps when you are working with large collections of assets. Before running the simulation, you can animate the colliders to interact with the elastic bodies. Say for example, walls compressing a pile of objects, then trigger the simulation through an external window. It saves the data as a USD file, calculates everything in the background, and you can watch the results live in Blender once it is done. The squashing and bouncing effects feel solid, especially for stylized motion or quick soft body previews. You don't need a deep rigging setup to get convincing elasticity, which makes it a nice tool for experimenting with dynamic scenes in a more physical way, and hopefully it will get better in future updates. Now, if you've ever had to build wooden shaders from scratch in Blender, you know how much trial and error that is. Grains, gloss, bump, color variation, and so on. Basically, it takes a lot of time, but Sanctus Woodwork can give you a clean head start with a set of procedural wood materials that are basically usable out of the box. You've got a library of wood styles and wood types like maple, walnut, pine, and more, with each shader built to be editable inside the shader editor. And these aren't just baked textures, everything is procedural, so you don't have to worry about tilting or resolution. You can scale the wood grain, adjust color tone, or tweak gloss to fit both stylized or photoreal scenes. It is especially a solid choice for furniture models, interiors, or props, where wood is the main material, and this can save you a lot of time, and can also add a level of consistency across assets. I also want to mention in this list Easy Hdri from Tab. Honestly, nothing sets the mood faster than a solid HDRI, and this add-on can take the hassle out of the process. I mean the process of setting HDRIs. So no more digging through folders or setting up complex nodes. Just drag and drop and you will be good to go. And you can do that from a clean built-in panel in the shader editor. You can also preview, rotate, adjust brightness, and even add blur without even leaving the interface. And my favorite part is how fast it is. Swapping HDRIs takes seconds, whether you are testing out a vibe or locking in a final look. So if lighting is a big part of your daily grind, this add-on can actually keep things going smoothly because it is simple and seriously efficient. Next, let's talk about Flaxflow, which is a new motion tracking and geometry add-on that makes tracking faster, in addition to being more stable and a bit less of a hassle. It basically introduces an optional tracking method that processes footage better than Blender's native system, while keeping trackers more accurate and less prone to drifting. The add-on includes point-based geometry generation, allowing you to click on points in your footage to calculate their 3D positions, making it much less of a chore. I mean to set up ground planes and align 3D objects. It also comes with automated track filtering, in addition to error correction, and a custom solver to clean up tracking data, and right now, it works with PNG image sequences and video files, in addition to other formats coming soon. Now back again to modeling, we have Delta Quad, which helps you convert n-gons into quads. This is super helpful if you're working on cleaning up messy topology. It is not really built for high-density sculpted meshes, but for simpler cases, like cleaning up n-gon faces, it gets the job done. One thing I really like about it is how it can work step by step. So instead of reworking the entire mesh at once, you can just select specific faces and convert them into quads as you go. This gives you more control and makes it easier to preserve important details. There are even two modes for how it arranges quads, depending on what works better for your model. To use it, just select some faces in the edit mode, right-click, and choose Delta Quad from the menu. It is actually a small Python-based tool, so it will work on any operating system, of course where Blender runs. Next, I want to talk about Hair Painter, which enhances the way to create hair in Blender by letting you sketch out curves that automatically generate hair strands. So instead of manually placing each strand, you can stretch out Bezier curve to shape things like eyebrows, eyelashes, beards, and braids. The process is quick, and once you've drawn the base, you can tweak the strand density, thickness, growth angle, and even add some frizz to make it look more natural. The add-on comes with presets for different types of hair, so whether you're working on eyelash, an eyebrow, or a full beard, you have a straight point that you can define. There are also extra tools for handling braids, also fine baby hairs, and even automatic hairline generation, which makes styling easier. And if you need more control, you can adjust things like hair curvature, compression, and rotation to get the exact look that you're going for. And since everything works non-destructively, you can make changes on the fly without having to start over. The add-on also includes demo files, so you can test different styles before committing to your own project. In a similar vein, we have Hairflow, which is an add-on for simulating hair dynamics in Blender. It works with curved objects, which can be created from meshes or existing geometry. Once your hair curves are ready, you combine them to a target object, like a character's head for example, and start simulating. The add-on handles scaling and rotation, keeping the hair synchronized with its parent. Key features include hair resolution control, which resamples curves for smoother simulations, and adjustable parameters like stiffness, reactivity, wind, and gravity. You can also add collision objects to simulate interactions between hair and other geometry, like strands brushing against a character's shoulders. For performance, Hairflow includes a proxy function that reduces the number of hair strands during simulation while maintaining the overall shape. It also supports partial selection, allowing you to apply different physics settings to specific parts of the hair, like making shorter strands stiffer, while longer ones flow freely. The add-on even lets you attach objects, like hair ties or clips, to specific points on the hair, ensuring they move naturally with the simulation. So if you're working on character animations or stylized hair effects, Hairflow makes the process much more manageable. Next, I want to talk about PF2B, Plantfactory. This is especially useful for those who spent lots of time using 3D software, because it functions as a bridge between Blender and asset found and created in Plantfactory by Eon Software, which has been used by industry veterans for more than 20 years. This add-on allows you to open up a huge collection of high-quality, procedurally generated plants to everyone. Now, with the PF2B add-on, which is more like a bridge, things are smoother now than ever. Instead of dealing with manual imports, texture assignments, and manual setups, this add-on automates the process. With access to a huge library of presets and plant species, you can populate landscapes, ArchViz projects, or any environment that needs some natural detail. And for those working with stylized characters or toon shading, Easy Custom Normals is a free tool that fixes ugly shading on uneven or triangulated meshes, something that often breaks toon shading. Standard solutions like blur, smooth modifiers, or data transfer don't help, because they rely on vertex positions. But this add-on uses Laplacian smoothing and inverted area weights normals to give clean results even on messy topology. It has non-destructive built-in geometry nodes and works well with vertex groups in addition to attributes and shaders. You can preview normals live and even bake them. Generally speaking, this is already a solid option for stylized characters, especially those that don't follow the high-to-low poly baking workflow, and it handles poles, triangles, and uneven spacing much better than Blender's built-in tools. Now for something different, we're gonna talk about Genie. This is a bundle of 11 procedural tools that pack a serious punch when it comes to speeding up your workflow. Each tool inside Genie focuses on a specific task. And by the way, this bundle is from CGMatter, one of the most popular Blender artists and developers out there. You can build detailed elements fast, without having to model everything by hand. And the interface is simple, and every system is designed to give you clean geometry with just a few tweaks. What I really like about Genie is how much it helps you during scene building. It gives you structure, detail, and flexibility all in one pack. Another interesting add-on that came out recently is called Resample Mesh, which is like Blender's topology reset button. It is not about traditional retopology, so you're not creating animation-friendly edge loops, but you get control over how vertices are distributed across your mesh. This is especially helpful with scanned assets, decimated models, or any kind of dense geometry that needs to be organized. You've got a few interpolation methods to choose from: Akima, Catmull-Ram, and Polynomial. This helps smooth things out or reduce polygon count while keeping the overall shape pretty much the same. There are also some extra tools bundled in. Unknot redistributes points along splines. Smooth softens mesh areas, and Distribute evens out vertex spacing. You can even connect loops, circularize edge flows, and use optimized mesh to clean up zero area faces and stray vertices. Now let's talk about Bone and Weight Splitter, which is all about making armatures more manageable, especially when you are dealing with imported characters or rigs with tons of bones influencing the same area. The add-on lets you split vertex weights between multiple bones, and you can do that cleanly, and it optionally limits how many bones can affect each vertex. This is super important if you are preparing a model for a game engine. It also includes some pretty thoughtful features that can speed things up. For starters, you can automatically split bones into a set number of segments, and the add-on redistributes vertex weights for you, so no manual painting needed. There is also a preview system for visualizing smooth weight transitions, so you can dial in blending before committing. You don't even have to manually link everything. Just pick your mesh and vertex group, and it auto-detects the right armature. It supports symmetry and works across multiple objects, and it lets you stay in whatever mode you're working in: object, edit, pose, or weight painting. Basically, it adapts to your workflow instead of making you change how you rig. Last but not least, we're gonna talk about Soft Body Painter. This add-on lets you define soft body simulation areas by painting directly on your mesh. Instead of assigning vertex groups manually, you just click a button to enter paint mode, mark the simulation zones, and apply the setup. Once that's done, you can tweak the simulation using built-in sliders for stiffness, bending, damping, in addition to pull and push forces. There is also support for self-collision, in addition to face and edge collisions, and a weld option to pin parts of the mesh in place. As you can see, it works non-destructively, so your original object stays untouched while the simulation runs on a duplicate. The interface is compact, and everything updates in real time, making it easier to interact without diving into Blender's physics panels. And there you have it, guys. If you are interested in these add-ons, you will find all the necessary links in the description. I hope you guys found this video useful and informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can also check some of our previous videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.